on now. You can't even do this. Look.
Hey, yo, what up, man? You know what it is. It's your boy, Don P, the West Coast host with the most, right here on the Riding and Smoking podcast. And today I got a dope, super dope, super dope, super dope artist with me, man. A crazy underground, like scientist, man. People get weird about you calling him a legend, all right? You know, some people get weird about it. But Mars, bro, you a legend, bro.
I feel like the legend word is also like synonymous to rumors. You know what I mean? I feel like I got more rumors about me that are crazy as fuck.
Right.
So people are like, dude, I heard you fucking blah, 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 blah.
Where you from, Mars?
I was born in Antioch and I was raised in Pittsburgh, which is almost the same thing to me. Right. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
We all shop at the same mall. So,
What's the genre? What's the genre of music that you make? What is it called?
well, I first got my start in the horror rap genre of music because when I was younger, you don't really have a lot of life experiences. So you just talk a bunch of bullshit, you know? So it's like, we thought it was funny just as friends to say a bunch of outlandish shit
Yeah,
and kind of like, like the joke, what's grosser than gross? It
right.
was kind of one of those things where we were like trying to piss people off.
Just trying to say the most craziest shit you could say.
Yeah, just to get people's reactions. And, we were trying to get canceled. So, like, that's why, like, in these days, you can't really, like, fuck with what we do because that was the point, anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nowadays, I have life experiences and, I'm married and I grew up in the same city for most of my life and seen its decline and grew or shrunk with it. So my darker experiences in horrorcore are more, um, they resonate with people more because they're the darker side of life. I actually have stuff that people could identify with that are darker. I choose to go that route. You know what I mean? Whether it be like depression or relationships. Like there's a lot of dark shit in real life. You know what I mean? Like
Nah,
you
for
could be married to a
real.
woman that you love, and it's so close to being like, I want to fucking kill this bitch.
Nah, for
You know what I
real. In
mean?
life, yeah.
Or let's say like when that shit's all over, you're like, I want to kill myself. Or when you're by yourself and all it's over, you'll be in depression and all this shit comes in your head, and it's all the stuff that people normally can't put into words. That's the darkest part of people that they don't talk about. We kind of get to put that in words and make that the stuff that people could actually resonate with now. Like nobody could really identify. Like, dude, I like that baby killing shit you did. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like it changed my life. You know what I
right,
mean? Like
right.
so it grew from like some fantasy, weird horror shit that a bunch of kids talking shit to actually having the darker parts of yourself to talk about. And it's almost therapeutic now to talk about all the stuff that, like, as men, we keep inside and keep silent and we fight without telling anybody that we're going through. You know what I mean? We're supposed to stand tall and just push
Just
through.
push through, huh?
You know what I mean?
Men's mental health is just so underrated. Like, people don't even really trip off like us unless we look like visibly fucked up. Like, other than that, they just think everything's okay all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
feel
it
that
gotta be though, damn near.
I feel as an artist, we're not really supposed to have a perfect, happy life because we're speaking to people that don't have a voice. So the struggle and the depression and being vulnerable and speaking to a mass amount of people that are probably in that spot, it's almost like we get to give them an outlet by us using,
Expressing
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, like men don't really have that place in the world by default.
Yeah, to just speak our sadness
Yeah,
or
I'm sad. Like
yeah,
pussy ass
bro. Yeah,
motherfucker. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly.
I feel like your
Mental health is
fans respect you for being vulnerable because when they see you, we also have a place in the world that we flex our greatest heights. You know what I mean? You see me on my Instagram, like you don't see me when I'm
right.
when I'm down and out and just eating a bowl of cereal. You see me when I'm, on a rooftop, fucking
Right.
eating
Sky
like
high.
celebrity
Yeah.
fucking made food. You know what I mean? You flex that and you give people something to look up to. But if you're vulnerable with your fans in that aspect, they could see what it took for you to get back to there. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
feel like the more vulnerable I am and the darkest parts of me that you don't speak about, that is the horror that I portray now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tight. And I noticed today that you're not wearing your signature mask. What's up with that?
Well, a lot of people
You
don't.
still got your mask, but you're just not wearing the mask.
Yeah, it's weird. It's always one of those things for me. It's a split decision at the last moment. Like I'm going to a San Francisco RBL Posse show. And a lot of people don't know this is where I got my start. My first producer was TC the Enhancer,
Wow.
and Sean T and Late Black. And
Wow.
Ghazi was my first engineer ever in a real studio. And San Francisco, even before music, was a place that's always given me opportunity and allowed my creativity or my output to shine. You know what I mean? So coming up in the world in San Francisco, like in Hunters Point shows, I would watch C Fresh and Chris and Two Took and all them cats, the way they did their shows. So when it was time for me to blow up in my world and take it out into the rest of the United States,
Yeah.
I looked like C Fresh, where I imagined myself to be like the hardest black muscular gangster, mean mugging the crowd, because that's what I seen. I was like, that's the
Yeah.
freaking dopest shit ever.
So you mentally just went in that place.
And that's how I think of when I do music, period. I always think of what character am I trying to match in this shit. So when I went out in the world, I was performing like I was from Hunters Point and the hardest motherfucker out there, but speaking about the shit we did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I come to shows like this, and I kind of like took all that in the beginning and I blew up right away in my own genre, and I kind of skipped all this stuff for a long time.
Right.
So when I come back to a San Francisco show where it's like, you know, regular people and like there's gonna be girls there,
Right.
and there's gonna be right now. I lost a bunch of weight. You know what I mean? I'm feeling myself.
Yeah.
If I was like, "What's up, girl? You know, here's what I do. Here's my Instagram," and she's looking at me, she would not give a fuck if I was wearing the mask. Like, who the fuck is this guy, right?
Right. Right.
But if I kind of like slowly slid my Instagram to them, they could like, you know what I mean? I felt like people here just wouldn't understand. Like when I won all the 9 Quarter Awards,
Yeah.
I never went to the ceremonies because I didn't think what I did would win awards. But I forget that I don't have just like a regional fan base. I have
Man, you was tripping, man. You you got a fan base, bro. People like you, bro. People talk about you. People know your music, bro. Let me ask you something real quick. Your style of music that you do, how similar is that to the Insane Clown Posse?
You know, I have to give them credit because I grew up listening to Gangsta Nip and X-Rated and Brother Lynch and
Yeah.
the Flatliners, Gravediggers, Insane Clown Posse, House of Crazies, and shit like that. The first people that I feel like I was already popping in the underground to where I had all these people's posters on my wall and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one day they had a compilation series that they were going to put out, and the best song was going to get signed. And I went to Laid Black, got the production. And that's even Frisco shit then, you know what I mean? Laid Black made me a beat. I got Mike Marshall to do the hook.
Phew.
And it was the recipe for like, I'm going to kill it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I did a horrorcore storyline song on it. And they got mad that I had Mike Marshall on it. And they're like, you're not supposed to have anybody on it. It's supposed to be you. We paid you and we bought it out. It's only supposed to be you. And I'm like, that's the dude who fucking think I got 5 on it. They're like, oh, for real? And they're like, oh, never mind.
Never mind.
And then that hit the top 25 rap Billboard, and it was because of my region that it sold so much. So they started looking at me, and I got invited to the gathering of the Juggalos, and they approached me.
How'd that make you feel?
It was crazy, bro. You know, it's still crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm still such a big fan of everything that I'm interested in,
Yeah.
not just rap music. I still kind of mark out on people. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, oh shit. And I try to play it cool.
That's tight, bro.
You know what I mean?
Don't think that ain't tight. Like it's dope to be a fan of music. It's dope to be a fan of people who are dope. Like don't let nobody ever tell you that shit ain't dope. The people that be playing too cool for school, they the ones with the real issues.
I feel like girls do that as fans to us. You know what I mean? They'll see you in a crowd and they're like, oh, what's up? And then inside of them, like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'll never know, but the dudes are super excited to meet us. Like they'll show us their tits if we want to, you know what I mean? I feel like that's the role you're supposed to play. But inside, I'm like, holy shit, you know what I mean? I sometimes I get phone calls where it's a big opportunity, and I try not to get excited because I don't want to be let down so much. Or sometimes I meet one of my favorite rappers, and they're like fucking assholes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, fuck blah blah blah. you know what I mean?
Right.
And I can say that about a lot of people that I still have opportunities with, so I'll just keep it rolling. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a huge letdown for me when I met them. they were excited to meet me and gave me one of the biggest opportunities I ever had to be seen by thousands of people every night for like 2 months. I was rocking. My first shows here were like maybe 25, 50 people a night. And I did like maybe 5 to 10 shows around the Bay Area with RBL and Gaselsky and Tay to Tay and all them. With the
Yeah.
Apartment 3, like
Yeah.
they helped put me in this world, you know what I mean? And then immediately I had to learn how to perform in front of like 2,000, 3,000 people a night and sold out auditoriums and learning how to perform and make a mass amount of people listen and follow your direction.
Was it ever any crazy ICP nights out there?
You know what? Here's what I thought, bro. Is when I got the opportunity, I was still what? I was maybe 27 or something like that. And I thought you're supposed to go out there, get blackout drunk every night, all the drugs, fuck every bitch,
Right.
be a complete piece of shit because maybe this will be the last time you'll be able to tell that story. And I stayed true to that shit, bro. You know what I mean? And then I noticed that they're looking down on me because it's a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to look down on like the bigger artists that used to show up and they would show up, do their sets, and go home and not talk to nobody.
Period.
I was like, dude, that guy could have had any bitch here.
Right.
And
It seemed like they was being lame, but fast forward now to the future,
yeah, I'm older now.
to be able to go rock a show, see all the homies, dap up, do all the shit, and then just cut to the crib.
Yeah, you can't turn it off.
Shit's fly.
But they took me out and showed me to such a big amount of people that the opportunity may have ended there. But I took the opportunity and like it lit a fire under my ass where I was just an independent artist struggling and trying different things and trying to find my way. And I was selling a lot of CDs then, but I still wasn't like, when I did a tour, I would fly to Florida and they'd fly me to Minnesota and I'd fly every weekend somewhere else, which I wish I could do now, which is the shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I never hit and struggled on the road. You know, they didn't pay me for my first tour that sold 3,000 tickets a night. They gave you like $10 and like figure it out. No hotel, van, like super grimy, acting like you're the shit when you get there, but knowing that like maybe you use a baby towel to wipe your balls and shit off, you know what I mean? And then go have to pull a bitch.
Yeah, and
You know
then
what I
have
mean?
to go pull the whole night off.
Well, that's when you get like, that's when the Bay Area shit that separates you from everybody else. You know, I was making out with ugly chicks that couldn't get a ticket to the show because it was sold out, and then dragging them in VIP with me, still making out with them, so nobody could be like, "Hey, you can't bring her back here."
Right.
And then like, "Here, give me $100, cool." And then I'd have money to eat with for the whole week, or I would
Finesse.
we would all go out to eat, and I'd take all the money off the table from my pocket, like, you know what I mean? Fuck, go, and they're like, "Hold on, man, I gotta just get the fuck out of here," you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
it's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life at that time. It's almost like I tell people when you go to jail is like one of the dopest things for me is when I did a decent amount of time in a very hard program, and I feel like that's when you learn how dope you really are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they gave me the opportunity, to everybody else, it seemed like the fucking biggest thing in the world. But you're out there risking your relationships at home,
Yeah.
rent, fucking. You have to explain to people, oh, I'm getting $10 a night or $20 a night, and they're just like, dude, I told you this was not going to work out for you. And like, you're the only ones to see it, but they were the first people to see the potential in me, and I didn't wait to see what was going to happen next. I just kind of just went and did it. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
would say my music is similar in a way that I've learned a lot of marketing techniques. I've learned how to project my voice. I've learned how to tell stories. You know, like when you're in kindergarten, your teacher reads to you, and she uses different voices for different parts of the story. And
Yeah.
you can actually read, and like the dummy next to you is like, duh, 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 and they don't know how to do
Right.
it.
Right.
Like they taught me the difference of doing that in music and actually telling a story where you could visualize it. So in a way, I've always looked up to them. But then again, you know what I mean? My producers were always like TC and the Enhancer. So it's like it was such a different thing that I did compared to what they did, and I almost had to like split.
Your shit was more hip hop too, like, right? More like,
I mean, I would say like in the beginning, it was trying to be more shocking and just talk a bunch of shit. But once I learned how to like be comfortable. You know, like I don't know if like because you make music when you first started, you knew what you were trying to do. If you did it right, would be dope,
right.
but you weren't comfortable on the mic enough because there was people around.
Right.
and people are listening and judging. You can sing like a girl on this under track because you're embarrassed.
'Cause to do
Once,
that, right?
yeah, once I figured out, I didn't give a fuck what anybody thought, and I knew that I would do what I needed to do to get the sound that was in my head. Once I got past all that stuff, my music changed. You know what I mean? So it's like I didn't want to be taken as a novelty anymore. I wanted people to hear me. You know what I mean? I had a pretty good voice, so I was more so like, you know, like Tech Nine is dark enough where people will listen to him and feel his pain.
Shouts out to my brother Tech and my brother X Rated over there, man, with Strange Music and Black Star Evolution. They over there grinding.
Man, you know, that was such a big surprise when I seen Rated sign. Like, I was so happy for him.
That was huge, right?
Like, when Rated got out, we connected right away, and I was in his first video. And I was there when Lynch and him hugged for the first time. I got to witness that as a fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, like, what a crazy moment. And those are the kind of like the fan moments you still have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's,
seeing certain shit is just fucking cool when it happens.
yeah, you know, like one of the first horrorcore songs besides 666 from San Francisco was Rated's album, Exorcist, and it was like so dark, and you almost didn't realize most of the shit were what do you call it? It was like hood shit, but he made it dark. But I only took out the dark shit, and it was like, oh shit, I can't believe you said that. You know what I mean?
No, I love X Rated. That's my brother. You know, he actually got a new album coming out. I'm on it.
He is
His
such
new
a
album that's
smart
coming out on
person.
Strange Music is coming out next month, I believe.
You know, when I met him, he was so confident, smart, militant in his ways, and like he knew what he wanted to do. Right, he had so much time to figure it
Bro,
out.
when he came home, he told me this whole story, right? And this is me looking at a man, right? Think about this. I'm sitting there. This time I'm doing magazine shit, so I'm still just doing interviews, right? But I'm sitting there with him when he first got out. We on the rooftop, and he's telling me all this shit like he
In
wants to
Oakland?
do. Yeah.
That was such a dope spot.
When
See?
that shit clean.
So
So
dope.
we on the roof. He telling me everything he gonna do, and I'm like, bro, you just got out of jail like 4 days ago, like, right?
He wasn't fucking around.
I'm like, bro, how the fuck you got all these? He had this whole plan or whatever. And man, I'll be goddamned if he didn't pull that whole shit off.
You know, at that time, when I was there when they were putting together the furniture for that spot. You know, I was there at his first Thanksgiving back with his family and
Yeah.
at Looney and Low Key. I was telling my girl, like, I know we were supposed to go to your mom's house, but X Rated just invited us
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving. I'm like, and you know the food's gonna be smacking and people are gonna be so excited. I'm
Yeah.
like, we have to go. Like, what?
You knew the food was gonna be right.
Oh, it was great. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And the scene that he was like almost like the pillar of his family still, and like
crazy.
people had so much support for him and believed in him. And like you said, he knew he was going to do all this shit.
That shit's
I was
crazy.
supposed to sign with him at that time.
Shit was crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. The whole Block Star shit is tight, man. But I just like the fact that you even pay attention to that type of shit, Mars, man. Again, bro, I'm proud of you. I'm gonna tell you this, I'm telling you this. This is me, Don P, telling you. I've been watching you for a lot of years, a lot of music. We known each other a long time, bro. I'm really proud of you for being adamant about Mars,
What did you mean by that, though?
because Mars is sitting next to me in a van doing the interview right now. So to me, no matter what, Mars is a huge entity. And you showing up here tonight to this event, to you, maybe in your mind, you're like, I'm just going out to an event. But to me, as a person looking on, I'm thinking to myself, my brother Mars, even if he doesn't know it, he's still putting himself in the places that he needs to be.
You know what's crazy is that
And that's why I'm proud of you.
Cloud was like, we're going to go to this thing. You know, I kind of had, I don't know if you noticed on social media, I didn't post for like a good couple months.
I did.
And I was going through it. And I'm still kind of going through it, you know what I mean? And this is one of my, actually, since I've been back in California, this is the first time I've been out in the city or whatever. And I was kind of building, like, you forget who you are when you feel like shit, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like, if I would have just kind of went out in the world and had the love that I had tonight. Because again, that's what I was trying to say is that I didn't think people in this crowd would even notice on pictures or whatever, but like everybody kind of knew who I was.
Everybody loves you, bro.
Even if they weren't familiar with my music, they were familiar with my social media presence.
Bro, they know who you are, bro. You're Mars. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. So I had to tell you that because we all go through those phases. We all go through those days where we feel like we want to give up or we want to quit.
I was there.
You know what I mean?
It's a good feeling though. You know what? It's a good feeling.
Sometimes you got to hit that low just to come back. You know what I mean?
I purposely put myself in a position to hit rock bottom to get it over with, to the point where I remember looking in the mirror and it was like I was done. Like, all right, I'm comfortable. If something happens and I die, I'm cool. And I looked in the mirror and I looked so fucking ridiculous. I was like, that's fucking great. You know what I mean? Like, I looked at myself. I wasn't really embarrassed of myself. I mean, I probably wouldn't go out anywhere, but I looked at myself and was proud on how fucked up I was and made it. And that next day I went and fucking changed my life immediately. Under a month, I think I went from feeling like shit for a couple months to remembering who I am and what I was capable of. And, you know, I'm sponsored by like a #1 demographic companies in many different categories,
Of
right?
course.
And like I'm able to
I seen your cookies collab. That shit was dope.
yeah, like Cookies is like the #1 urban apparel line in many
Yeah.
categories.
Shouts out to
right?
Cookies SF. You know, they keep your boy dipped. You see everything I got on.
I'm
It's pretty
jealous
much
on half the
Cookies.
shit you get too. I'm just like, but like,
You're not the only one.
or like
trust me.
a King Ice is the #1 hip hop jewelry company, and I have collabs coming with them. I forget,
Big.
and it's like, you know how many of these they sell?
Yeah, of course.
That's life changing shit, and I forgot that, you know, like people work hard for me to feel like shit about my life. And then when I kind of got out in the world, like tonight was a big step for me to just go out there. It reminded me that like I put in a lot of work for.
Come on,
You
dog.
know what I mean?
Come on, dog.
This is probably
You put in a lot.
the fastest that I turned shit around for myself after purposely trying to like ruin myself. And it was like it took longer to ruin myself than it did for me to get it all back. You know what I mean?
Man. Well, welcome back, man. Yo,
Thank you.
if you're watching the Riding and Smoking podcast with your homie Don P, I've been chopping it up with Mars, man. We talking about the ICP, a lot of his stuff that he been going through, and just life in general in this music business, growing up in this shit. But Mars, man, real quick before we get out of here,
Have you heard the new album?
I was just about to ask you about the new music. You got a new album out right now. What's it called?
I got a new album out right now through Empire and Mad Insanity Records called West Craven. It's I did it in like a week's time out in Milwaukee, and it's some of my best work because it was just all real shit. You know what I mean? So I put it out, and then almost everything on the album kind of came true, and it means a lot to me. So,
That's crazy.
you know what I mean?
Ain't that crazy when that type of shit happen?
You know what I think of it as? You know when you go to church and multiple people pray for you and they're putting it in the air,
Yeah.
manifesting.
It is.
as a
It
group.
is.
But when people play your music and you have such a big following where people are playing it at the same time,
It's like it's
maybe
like
it's
that.
like the same shit. You know what I mean?
I believe that, Mars.
Or I feel like
That's why I don't say certain things in my music, because if somebody's gonna play that shit a million times, whatever I said, that's the spirit a million times.
yeah, you know, like DJ Quick said, yeah, you go check out my new album. I hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
but nobody wants to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to
Right.
hear how happy people are in my shit.
They hate that
You
shit.
know what I mean? Nobody like right now. When I was doing bad, I'm sure there's so many people like, fuck yeah, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh man.
Oh man, he's putting his fucking life together.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah, people hate when you put your life together. But we putting our shit together, man. It's been dope talking with my brother Mars, man. Hey man, more life, more music to you, man. More blessings.
We got to do some shit.
Oh, come on.
We've been talking about it forever.
I know we definitely got to get it in. That's gonna come. I'm just excited for you to see you doing work right now, bro. And like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm sure a lot of other people are proud of you, and you just need to know that, and you just need to hear that.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? And keep going, brother. And thank you for stopping by. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Give a shout out to my son Gavin and everybody in Pittsburgh and Antioch that's been given to the charity work that I'm doing and coming through as a community and helping out for the people in need. I appreciate all the services and the restaurants that came together to make it happen for people that need a little bit of help, man. I appreciate everything that I'm doing right now and all the people involved. Super dope.
Man, that's tight as hell. Yo, it's your boy Don P, the West Coast host with the most. And you've been looking at the Riding and Smoking podcast. And today I had Mars, man, and this shit got deep, man. It got deep.
People don't go that deep normally. You know what I'm saying? You got bitches and shit. Feel me?
Nah, you know what? Your interview to me, this is one of my favorites. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you right now because out of all the people I ain't gonna lie, the drunk girl was honest. But liquor will do that to you.
I don't like
But
drunk girls because they're honest.
you was honest. I felt the purity in things that you was saying, bro. And that's I love to hear people just be honest, bro. And I just love that about this interview. So you know what I
You
mean?
gotta be, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody could, good or bad, they could expect you to be yourself. You know what I mean? So,
Come on.
I like that.
Man, your boy Don P riding and smoking. This was the Honest Podcast with my guy Mars.
The Honest Mars this time.
This was the honest episode with my brother Mars right here.
You know, somebody's listening to this shit right now. I'm like, what a bunch of
You
bullshit.
guys
that
are being
guy is.
honest and positive, man, and turning their lives around. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, nobody likes that shit.
Come on now, you can't even do this. Look.